Good morning. This is Fancy Nancy from FancyNancyStamps.com, and this morning we're going to be working with a new stamp set that I got in the mail yesterday, and I'm kind of excited. As I watched it show up in various feeds on Facebook, I realized that it was a stamp set that I had missed. So we'll come to that here in just a minute. I want to remind you that this is day 12 of my 15-year anniversary with Stamping Up, and as I keep telling all of you, it has been a great run. I have loved my Stampin' Up experience. I spend a lot of time in my face-to-face business and working with stampers of all levels. We have various classes throughout the week, the month. We do special occasions like stamp camps and retreats. And so I hope you'll watch for me, Fancy Nancy Stamps. You'll see lots of information regarding those. If you're interested in finding out more, I'd love for you to go to my blog. I've put that in my feed, my address, and even sign up for the email list because you will get all the information. Now, I just said about my face-to-face business that I did all of those things. Well, let me tell you that anything I do face-to-face, I also do online. And in fact, right now, I am promoting my Stampin' online class. I just called Fancy Nancy Stampin' online class. It's just that simple. So what, again, let me tell you about that. This is a subscription class. It goes out every month, the last Friday of the month. Generally, you have until the third Wednesday to sign up for that class. I'm extending that extra week this month because I'm having interest and I want to just grab as many of you as I can to join that class. Let me tell you that it is, as I said, it's a subscription class. You receive a box every month full of Stampin' Up goodies. It's usually $20 to $25 worth of goodies. I have a theme for the month, and you're informed of that each month as a subscriber to that club. You have the opportunity in that kit. There will be the makings for 8 cards, which are 2 each of 4 different designs. You might ask, well, what level of Stampin' are they? Well, they're all levels. There is a PDF of instructions, and I promise you that the fancy in Fancy Nancy is all about layers and embellishments. Maybe a little bit technique now and then, but I promise you, you receive the information you need to create and replicate that technique. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's simply step-by-step instructions, but in any case, I have never had somebody say that they weren't successful. So I've told you $20 to $25 worth of merchandise, the makings for 8 cards. What I didn't tell you yet is that it doesn't ship with the stamp set. I will tell you what the theme is. You may already have that stamp set, and so you don't really need it. Or you may have one that's sort of like it, and you're thinking, I'm going to go with the one I have. Great. But if you need that stamp set, I will make that available to you as a special purchase at 18% discount. So know that you get that information every month, and you can make the choice every month to do what you would like to do. You might even decide after you get the kit that, oh, I wish I'd ordered. You can order from my online store at any time. But I will tell you that 18% discount is only when we're preparing for the class itself. I ship this to your door for my local clients. They have porch pickup, but we make that work for you. How much does it cost? Well, it is $36 a month when you are a month-to-month subscriber. If you want to take this class for a test drive, I encourage you to do that. It will be $40 for that test drive month. If you then decide to subscribe, it'll move to the $36 fee. So I try to make it as available to you as I can, and definitely as affordable as I can, because you're getting a lot of goodness in that little package that comes every month. So with all of that, that was a lot. Let's kind of get to what we were going to work on today. So I'm going to just see what I can do here. There we go. Whew. Many of you know that day before yesterday, I had a terrible electrical storm here, and it kind of changed how all of my things are working. So I'm hoping, with the best of intentions, I tell you, that you're seeing what you need to see. So let's talk about what we're going to use today. This is the stamp set that came in the mail. I love it. Look at the sentiments that are on there and look at how you have the mixture, excuse me, of manuscript and cursive. That is just so fun, and there's a million different ways that we can mix it up. And we're going to do a little bit of that today. My sentiment on the inside, because I'm going to be doing a happy birthday, I am going to use an inside sentiment from Quite Curvy, and I'm going to be the wishing you the happiest of birthdays. So now you know what I'm going to use. Let's just put that aside. Let's talk about colors. I have to tell you that I do love Blackberry Bliss, and many of you will even remember that Blackberry Bliss and this accompanying color, Mossy Meadow, were once in colors, and now it is they are in our standard collection. So this, and then I also used, excuse me, I kind of jumped there. I also used this berry set, and this is, I think it's called Berry Blessings, and this was part of our celebration this year in the January-February celebration. And for many of you, if you don't know what celebration is, it is a special time of year. It used to be 3 months, January, February, March, in which if you made a $50 purchase from the regular catalogs, which would be our January to June mini as well as our annual catalog, that you could then purchase, you had choices, free items out of this celebration catalog. Well, the good news is they had this cool paper, Berry Blessings, and I was in love with it. And I will admit, I bought a lot of it because I just wanted it. So when it comes, when you celebration event comes up, it's something you really want to look at and say, could I use this? Because this is free items, and you just don't want to let that go by. So that's what we're going to be using today. I want to remind you that the dimensions for all of this and the order numbers are all on my blog. They'll be there in about 10 minutes after we air this live, because I want to take pictures of our final product and put them on that blog along with it. So let's just get started and see what we come up with. For many of you, you might know that most of the time I'm making this card for the first time in front of you. I've thought about it, the concept's been rolling around in my head, but that doesn't mean I have done it yet. So I'm going to take this 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper. I'm going to fold it in half to make my card base. And I'm of course going to use my bone folder, because all of you know that a good crisp fold is the way to start your card. And then I'm going to take, I've got background of Mossy Meadow, and I actually cut it because I wanted to go almost to the edge. I wanted the Blackberry Bliss to show, but this takes a more striking position. And we are going to we're going to just lay it down. So it's only going to give me about a little bit, just about 1/8 of a perimeter around it. So there we go. And right away I'm going to add, and I'm always looking which is the right way. It's this way. I want to add this beautiful Blackberry Bliss Berry Blessings paper. Some of the sheets of this paper also went along with our strawberry bundle, which is really cool. And there was also a stamp set that went with this in the Celebration catalog with the blackberries. So it really made this fun because you could really, it was really versatile for us. And once again, I just want the 1/8 of an inch all the way around. This is never easy. I'm going to turn it to the side and see if I do better. For those of you who are beginning and you're saying, I just don't want to struggle with taping and lining it up, can I just tell you that you can use our all-purpose glue that's in the catalog, and you will find that it's a little bit more forgiving. You can slide it. I love my Stamp and Seal just because it is so sticky, and I just feel like you get a really great connection with paper, and well, that's what I like about it. All right, so that's the front, and I'm going to just set that aside for right now because I want to move on to our next step, which is using this great new stamp set. And for that, I will also need my Stamp-A-Ratus. Now, obviously, I got ready before we started this, so I've got my grid paper in here. This is a photopolymer set, so I have my cushion in here. And I've kind of made a mark where I want this little piece of paper to line up to get the best, because I am going to be doing what I think the Stamp-A-Ratus was made for. First of all, I want you to see that I'm using my labeling tape, and I'm going to have a little bit of a border so I have some forgiveness, but not a lot. So I'm going to put this right there. I think I'm going to secure it on the bottom too. Just because I want to have a firm hold, maybe even on the top. Okay, so it's down. I'm going to be doing this part with the Blackberry Bliss, and what I want you to know is the cool thing about the Stamp-A-Ratus is it allows us to ink up this stamp, and if we're doing a bunch of them, we can just slide our item in. We might do it a little bit different than what I just did, in that we would maybe make it a little bit easier, so using our corners to line it up. But this one, I'm going to do birthday, birthday, birthday down the row, and in order to do that, I'm going to use, that's going to be a hinge issue. So as I show you, we'll lift this out and we'll move the hinge, and you're going to see how this works. Now, to ink up this stamp, I don't know if you just saw me do this, I slid the stamp case underneath just to give me some cushion, so that when I ink up, I want to get a nice ink surface there, because I'm actually going to stamp it 3 times with that. So we're going to pull it over, give it some pressure, check and make sure it's a good I took off there. I kind of want to do it again, so we're going to hopefully be absolutely successful. We're going to lay this down. Some people call this the sleeve method. I don't know. It's really not hanging in there the way I want it to. Okay, I'm going to lift it off. I'm going to huff on it. I'm going to put it in the next spot. I'm going to give it another good sleeve method, giving some pressure. Lift it back up. I'll lift it out. I'm going to huff on it again. Man, it sounds like I just lost all air, doesn't it? Put it down one more time. Oh, didn't line up quite the way I wanted to. Well, we're going to just keep going. I'm going to ink it up one more time, lift it out, and get my there we go. I'm just going to lift that off and wash it up, pull my card out, and move on. Okay, so what we have here, I want to back this with a piece of the Mossy Meadow. I don't know how I managed to get this little inward indentation, but I am certain we will find a way to cover that up because that's what stampers do. I think the best cards I ever made were the ones that I made when I made mistakes and I was working for a little solution. I was a school principal in my other life, and I actually taught rubber stamping to the kids in their what we called extra classes. So they, ever so often, we would have a week of extras. And there were many of the kids who told me that, or taught me, the fun of making mistakes and making it better. So I'm just going to tell you, we can learn from these kiddos a lot. And I'm going to put this significantly to the side because that's, oops. Well, not to worry. There's another mistake I made that I wasn't going to do. I was going to actually put this ribbon I will not be anymore. I was going to put this ribbon underneath this. Let's see if I can do it. I did it. Every now and then. Is it on there tight? Yes. I love it when it comes together. And it doesn't always, you guys. Sometimes you just have to put your ribbon in a different place. Now, I wanted to have a little talk about ribbon. This is a Blackberry Bliss ribbon. I'm going to be really upfront. I have no idea when it was a ribbon that we had in stock. But as long as the color is in our inventory, the ribbon remains in my inventory because I never know when I'm going to use it. So I just want you to know, you can say, gosh, Nancy, where did you get that ribbon? And my response is going to be a genuine, heck, I don't know. I don't. So, and I have, what I've also learned from many of my demonstrator friends, and I'll show you in a minute, that ribbon can be really obnoxious. Sometimes it's why people choose not to use it. But I'm going to use glue dots to get this exactly where I want it in a minute. But right now, suffice it to say, we have a bow, and I'm liking it. And now we're going to add this cute little birthday sentiment right about here. Yes, we are. Okay. Whew, there are moments that are like close calls, and that would have been one of them. So let's just push this. Right about there. I'm still going to slide this over just a tad, a wee bit, as my mother would have said, a wee bit. And then I am going to take this scratch sheet of paper, and with my Mossy Meadow, I'm going to stamp the happy. And I'm very distressed about this ink pad because it's not looking good. I think it's on my order. Just looks like it met with an accident. I don't think it did, but it looks like it. I'm going to stamp my happy, get a nice good color there. Then I'm going to take my very light pencil line and I'm going to draw it around this. Worry not, I will be erasing this line. That wasn't good at all. I think I've had too much coffee today. All right, and I'm going to cut that and erase. Oh my gosh, some days are just like Sometimes I don't even draw the line because, well, I've probably had too much coffee and I know better. I am one of those people for whom the day has not begun if I have not yet had my coffee. And today, well, I was prepping for the window washer, so I got up early, which means I've had even a bit more coffee. Oh, it's so dangerous. And most of you know, you want to turn your paper, not turn your scissor. You shouldn't really even reach the tip of your scissor. At least that's what I've been told. Until the very end. This is where I didn't like my line, so I'm just doing it different. All right, so I'm going to look at this and see if I have any place where I need to kind of erase lines, and I can see a few right here. Let's get rid of them. And I'm going to put this happy, probably my lightest happy birthday, and I'm going to use what I lovingly refer to, if I find them, as my baby dimensionals, which I can't believe we waited this long for them. They are absolutely the most wonderful because they're little, and it allows us to put a lot on our item to make it hold up really well. Whew. There we go. And we're going to take off our little sticky guards, as I call them. And we're going to add this right there. Now there's still more. We'll be back. We'll be back. Let's go to the inside. Let's see what we've got. I wanted to continue with my theme, so I'm going to use this paper. No, it goes like this. Oh, heavens, Nancy. Like this. So let's just apply it. And that little goodness does not need to be here. Okay, we're gonna apply this sort of towards the bottom. I always like to leave just a little bit of white so people know it wasn't an accident. This is what I want. And I told you I was going to use the Quite Curvy, and I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss on the inside. There we go. This card's going to make me very happy. I'm feeling it already. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm rubber stamping, it sort of just, I don't know, it brightens my spirits. It's a positive thing to do. And now I'm going to mount it on this mossy green. There we go. You know I'm always doing this little sideways thing. Go. Let's slide this inside the card. And we are going to be ready for embellishments. And all this done before the window washer arrived. That is really amazing. Okay. Ooh. What do you think? Are you liking it? So let's go back. I gotta see if I'm still happy with my bow. For the most part, I am. I'd like it to be a little tighter, so I'm just gonna play with this until I get it right where I want it, and trim it off one more time. Ooh, yes, I am happy now. One last thing. I want to add some pretties. It's always, and I've been trying to decide this morning if they were going to be purple or if they were going to be purple or if they were going to be white. And it's kind of been a tough decision, but I think I've made up my mind. I think this lighter color would just be so pretty. So here we go. Let's give it a whirl. There we go. I think we've got it by George. So just to give you a quick look at it. Birthday, 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 happy birthday. Blackberry Bliss ribbon, Berry Blessings paper. These are the pretty pastels that are in the pearls are the pretty pastels that are from the hydrangea group. This was from the Kirby set, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. I think this card's ready to send. Hope you'll choose to send it too. Don't forget, if you're interested in card class, to be sure and check that out on my website. And by the way, I didn't tell you that you would find that under classes. It's if you go to the face-to-face classes, even though it's an online class, that has the greatest amount of detail. Or just take a look at it on the online classes as well. What else should I tell you? Oh, if you're interested in buying any of these, the papers or the things that are here, I have a host code on my blog. Feel free to join me until tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. when I will be back to show you another card and to celebrate another day of my anniversary. I look forward to that time with you. Hope you'll join me. Until then, this is Fancy Nancy.